With the second week of the fall semester already underway, the task of learning new class schedules, building locations, and new faces can seem a bit overwhelming. Here today is one of these new faces that you'll become familiar with over the course of the year, A-S-I President Pedro Ramirez. Hi Pedro, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
So I know I just introduced you as a new face, but technically you aren't unfamiliar to being a part of the student government. What previous involvement in A-S-I have you had?
Me, last year I was the Senator of Parking and Safety. I was elected Senator at Large for the 2008-2009 academic year. And so I've held that position for 1 year before I was elected President last year.
And what encouraged you to partake in associations like A-S-I?
I always liked to get politically involved, and I felt A-S-I was the official student body, recognized in the university, and so I felt, well, I want to get involved with our own organization that can make change on campus. So I thought by getting elected by my peers, doing what I can in the student senate, then hopefully moving on up, or what the students saw fit would encourage me to move on.
Well, what was the factor that encouraged you to run for president? What was the ultimate deciding factor?
The ultimate deciding factor was when I served as senator, I felt that we needed to do more for the students, that we have more authority, more policy making that needed to be made in the university, and that associate students are in charge with that, but we weren't doing that. We weren't utilizing what we had, the potential that we had. I researched a lot of other ASIs, what they had, what they've done, and what power they have, and I felt that we deserve that and we should have that, and that's what motivated me to get involved.
What are the main issues you'd like to see addressed within your administration?
For one is the services and how we're implementing the services. Internally, ASI, what we're doing, like the laptop program, the planners that we saw this year, we got for the students, they're great, and I think we can use them and build upon them. Something that we're actually experimenting this year with the library. The library actually got Mac computers for the laptop program. That's something we never did. They got around 40 Mac computers, and students are loving them. So if we see that growth continue, ASI will provide more funding for those laptop programs and expanding the Mac base. So we're going to expand on the programs we have now and make them more effective and efficient. But we're also going to look at the ones we currently have and underutilize and build on them. Shared governance, which we can probably talk about later more, is something that is a key responsibility of ASI, but we've never really put a lot of thought to it. And this year we're going to change that. We're going to put students more on committees and make them more accountable and involved. But other services that other universities have that we're going to try to offer them, we're going to try to offer a video editing program for students. We don't have a very good PR. We don't have a good video messaging capability of ASI to market our programs, market what we do. So that's something I want to do. And then our policy making power, I want to get students engaged politically, get them out to register vote. So we're going to ramp up our lobby corps. So those are some things I'm going to be looking at this year and getting really involved in.
Over the summer and stuff, have you been doing things to begin making progress in these areas?
Yeah, well, a lot of people were out there enjoying their summer. I basically stayed here, and I basically organized myself. During the summer, that's typically the time that we transition in. So what I was doing was researching my position, researching the role of ASI, researching its ASI in the community, within the campus community, and what functions, what things we can do, and what we can improve on. So what I basically did over the summer was just a lot of research across the state, what other ASIs do, what their unions do, what their USUs do, the responsibilities that they ASIs, because every campus is unique. Maritime, it's basically, it came from the academy that was there, the old military base. So every campus is unique, and each ASI is unique towards that campus, and I wanted to see what ours was in comparison to theirs. And so right now, I was looking over the bylaws of our organization. I was comparing them to a lot of theirs. So there's a lot of things I want to change on our bylaws this year to mimic what others do. And basically, like I said, most of what I was doing was just getting acquainted to with the job and what I have to do this year. What I've been doing over the summer, besides just researching, was also contacting, meeting with administrators and faculty members and seeing what they were going through. But towards the students, as soon as the first week kicked off, I was going out there doing a lot of meet and greets with the students. A lot of organizations had their meetings. A lot of service like EOP, they had their freshman orientation where I spoke to 300 and something new students. Last Wednesday, the Cultural Heritage Institute had their Welcome Black Week, where it was where a lot of students just met, and I was able to speak at them and telling them what ASA does. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to first appear, instead of just emailing them, sending them a message, calling them or something. I want to meet face to face. So if a student organization wants me to come over there and speak, or a senator or somebody, please contact us. That's one of the things, is we want to not just contact you one way. We want to, multiple ways, multiple channels of communication. And the first way is basically in person. So I have office hours. Hopefully, sometimes with meetings being pinned here and there. But I have office hours, and if students have concerns, I want them to go up to my office, go up to the office of the senators and the executive vice president and talk to them. But we're going to be working on our website. That was one of the big things that I told students, is our website is really, crappy. And so we're working on getting a new website. It's a long process, because we have to follow university protocol and policies on what it looks like, what can and can't it have, the colors, the branding. So it's a longer process than I thought. I thought, you can just get a website and put it on, but that's one thing I learned on the job, is we have to follow these processes, and it can be time consuming, but we're going to be trying to get a new website.
And then social networking as well. I mean, you have a Twitter account, 2 Facebooks, and a MySpace account. How are you using that to relate to students?
Sometimes I tweet. My tweets go directly to my Facebooks. They're connected. So I tweet that I'm at this meeting, or I'm doing this.
Or you're walking around. I think one of them said, I'm walking around campus until my first class. So.
Yeah, add me as a Facebook friend. There's groups, that I created during the elections, and I'm going to try to modify them for another form of communication. So Facebook's a great way to communicate with me, and sending me direct messages or just posting on my wall.
And another major issue is the fee increases. And though you agreed that this was a huge problem, you never directly stated what actions you were going to take to try to alleviate this. Do you now have some sort of game plan or anything set in place?
There was another fee increase this summer, sadly. They increased it 5%, and there is another proposal that if the budget that we want doesn't get pushed forward by the governor and the state assembly and state senate, that we'll see another 5% or even larger, depending on how the budget's looking like. We're very optimistic that they won't do that. Both the state assembly and senate are in the favor of the students and the CSU system, the higher education system as a whole. But we have to wait and see. What I did during when the initial meeting, when that was going on, beforehand I tried to call as many of the CSU trustees as I could. I called CSU trustee Russell Statham and asked him if he can vote no. I told him the reasons why. I contacted a couple other ones, and some of them didn't respond, so we left voicemails. And we did a press release of alternative sources of revenue, or alternative ways of student fees, increasing fees, or something else. So sadly that didn't happen. It fell on deaf ears. But this year we're hoping to increase our lobby corps capacity. Last year when I ran, I told him that I wanted to increase our lobbying capacity, and we increased funding for lobby corps in the last budget. I made during when I was a senator, I told him we needed to see an increase in funding from 1,000 to at least 5,000, and that happened. So we have 5,000 there, and we're hoping that we'll get more as as the year goes on. We're finding out that we have an over enrollment of students, so that means more revenue for ASI, which means I'm going to put that money in lobby corps and other programs that we need. So we're definitely going to be doing something this year. Something that I'm working on with other campus departments, namely the poli-sci department, is if you volunteer for lobby corps, you get units of credit for lobbying. We haven't made the full arrangements. We're making the agreement to make it fair and legitimate. But that's something Dr. Schechter, the chair of the political department, is very supportive of. So if you want to get involved in lobby corps and actually want to do something, and you can get units for it, you're doing two things. You're getting units for it, so it's not a waste of time, and you're also advocating for higher education. So those are some things that I'm putting in place and that we're working on. But in the end, I could only do so much, but just put the vehicle. I just need people to go in there and drive it. I need students to get involved. I need you to come out, write to your legislator. That's big. You can do that. There's a lot of websites where they offer templates, and we're going to be coming up with some templates for letters and things. But write to them, call them up. Tell them you're a voting citizen, that you have rights, and the CSU should be a top priority.